win a particular match. Not always correct, of course. With this one, I think it's the quintessential 50-50 job.
The first frame.
Don't know about Neil Fold.
Mark Allen to break.
I think it's a real tight one, as you say. Look forward to this match, actually. Certainly the form of the man at the table, Mark Allen, has been pretty good in recent weeks.
In terms of qualification, Joe Perry was the last man into the tournament, and you just know, given his qualities, he could take full advantage of that.
I mentioned the form of the man at the table, Mark Allen. Of course, he beat his possible opponent tonight, Mark Selby, in Guangzhou last week in a good performance, losing it eventually in the semi-finals, but beating the current world champion. Good effort. Never easy to do, as Lian Wenbo will testify after today.
Previous head-to-heads gives us no clue whatsoever as to who will prevail. 6 meetings between them. Joe Perry has won 3 times. Mark Allen has won 3 times. If you're a Joe Perry supporter, one crumb of comfort is that they've only played each other twice in world ranking events, and Perry's won them both.
A really good shot, not only the pot, but he played it at such pace to go through bulk and back out onto a colour. That's an encouraging start. Joe Perry, a very relaxed demeanour, I always think, around the table. Always looks at home out there, never looks particularly nervous. I'm not saying that he doesn't get nerves. But he looks at home. I think that's important. Such a big stage.
4.
Prestigious tournament like this. You've got to feel a big part of it.
Fine.
And he's got a good support system here with him today. I noticed his father had travelled. His father, who bears a striking resemblance to Joe himself.
$12. 13.
Well, he seems to have quickly picked up the pace of the table, which is always good. I mean, whatever you practice on, even the practice tables are never quite the same as the match table.
20.
Quite a lot of rain in this part of the
21.
world. Over the last 24 hours, I think, has got into the arena. Slight dampness in the cloth and all that, which can happen. There's very little that can be done about it. It rained most of yesterday from afternoon onwards, and we're still doing so this morning here in Coventry.
28. $29.
Likes the arena though, as Joel said. He was a semi-finalist in this tournament last year, won his group by beating Michael White and John Higgins.
I didn't mean to flick that red because he was playing on that one. He's pushed it back into the bunch.
36.
Now recovered that shot absolutely perfectly, and that is just as you'd want it on the blue. Gives him plenty of options. I don't know about going into the bunch here. The pink's covering part of the route towards the reds. There's a chance if he does go into them, he'll just glance the cue ball away to the right. And that's the reason he played it at that pace. In fact, that is a superb shot. That was beautifully controlled. It was all about the pace or lack of it.
$43.
And I'm sure you'll agree, Neil, this is just typical Joe Perry. He floats the cue ball around. His control of the white, very good. Old-fashioned player. And that was an old-fashioned kick. What a horrible contact.
$50.
Yeah, almost saw sparks flying up there. That was not nice. It certainly affected the cue ball, stopped it dead.
$51.
Now, can he get centre striking on the pink? Of course, the black is, as it looks, a better option this time. Only just.
Notable though, it was at pretty much dead weight and it fell in off the
58.
far jaw. Whether it would have gone in off the near jaw is another point again.
59.
Well, Neil, this is just the kind of start these players crave. Good quality
64.
table time.
Yeah, so of course when he come to the table, he cut a thin
65.
red into the left corner, went through bulk, back out onto a bulk colour. He never, at that point, saw that it was going to lead to all of this.
$70. 71. $78. 79. 86.
Well, a double, I think. And he had to force that. It was not a natural angle, but by hitting it hard, it straightened the red up off the cushion. Great shot. But another good one will be needed here. Well, he looks in brilliant form, actually. I don't think he has been playing as well as I've seen him before in the last few weeks.
92.
But it's a long season and players hit form, and he might have just looking at this peaked at the right time. Tremendous start, Phil.
Perry 92 on the frame.
Well, Perry has showed there he's no ordinary Joe. Immediately getting into the groove. He leads by 1 frame to 0.
Welcome back to the Champion of Champions and the opening match in Group 2 featuring Joe Perry and Mark Allen. Perry took the opening frame before Allen struck back by taking the next 2. This is now the 4th and Allen's at the table.
Got a feeling that he's trying to not actually go for the pot, get near to the pot, but screw the cue ball around the back of the bunch. Yeah, that's what he's tried. Of course, the red following the cue ball's his biggest concern. Wow. He'll feel aggrieved to have stuck that red.
One.
Well, that's a very good split. He deserves to be on 1, and he is. Really caught the meaty part of the bunch there. Got to hit as much of the pink as possible.
Seven.
Well, he's only just all right. I think he felt there was a big bounce there from the cushion, but he's all right.
The other bonus when he went into the bunch was the fact that the black remained in open play.
13. $14.
A few moments ago I mentioned that Perry was world number 9, and when you consider that's his highest ever position, Neil, at the age of 42.
I think a single figure ranking at snooker is to be there, respected a lot. Like you say, some of these players that have come through, we've seen Stuart Bingham is getting on in years now. I think he's 40, isn't he? And they're playing as well now as he's ever played. Yeah, of course, when anyone you meet in the street talk to you about snooker, they say all these tremendous young players coming along. They all say that, and there are some good young players. But most of the leading players are of reasonable age.
$22. $28. $29.
Now that a big pressure ball this. Yes, that was the one. Again, the arm came into it.
Joe Perry, 29.
Well, he'll certainly be fully aware of what happened in the previous frame. He certainly should have won that one. And if this frame took a similar pattern, it would be hard to see him coming back from 3-1 down, having should have been 3-1 up. But this is a difficult table. The two reds have got to be moved that are close together. Unless they're a plant. Well, in that case, he's discovered something there that he didn't know a lot about.
8.
I don't think it's absolutely dead set, but it's close enough. Yeah, it was off the left jaw.
9.
At least we know there is a left jaw there that you can pop balls off now. No sign of it in the earlier matches.
$16.
And of course the further problem, if he gets top side of the blue, the black ball is kind of covering the two reds to get them into play. Well, he was walking.
Mark Allen,
I
16.
could only assume it was a kick.
Yes, and immediately Paul Collier goes and cleans the cue ball. The kick straightened the red up. Yes, you saw it there.
One.
Well, I think end of break, I don't see. And he might just take the 7 points, I guess, but it's not going anywhere this break. You might think that he could do with getting another colour onto a cushion. 16 points is not a huge lead, but it'll help if he can get everything safe.
Joe Perry, 1.
Well, not taking that option, but keeping it tight all the same.
Not the lengthiest frame of the match, but certainly the most scrappy. Well, potting a ball like that down the side rail, you're asking an awful lot, Joe.
Tried to develop the brown there, he's moved it a bit. If the yellow pot's past the pink, or indeed the pink goes, there might be a target on the two reds. Failing that, I think we're back to as you were, tickling behind the bulk colour via the bulk cushion.
Mark Allen, 1.
Should be something that Joe escapes from. The two reds aren't really in play. I think he'd be unlucky to stick one here. I think he'll be having another go at it.
Foul. And a miss. Mark
I
Allen
suspect
4.
it goes straight back. Just a very minor adjustment, a little bit further along the cushion towards the bulk line. Should make the angle wider.
Well, that was a more than acceptable trade-off for Perry in the end. Okay, giving 4 points away, but not leaving anything with Allen at the table. That will do just fine for him.
Well. I think if you wanted to put that red over the middle pocket, playing that shot, you couldn't do it. But once again, the whole frame is building up to what happens on the last red, and I think Mark Allen might be wise to this. I can't see that he's got the angle, or even if he had, whether he'd play on this red. Sometimes you just got to accept what's there, and what is there is an almost cast iron snooker from here.
8.
Try and pot the red the next time, not this time.
Mark Allen 8.
I think Joe's suffering a little bit there. The previous shot, he left the red over the middle. He's made good contact, but he really has presented a wonderful chance now. And this match is, you tend to feel, just slipping away from him. And it certainly will be slipping away should Mark Allen make the clearance here. Just requires a bit of thought from the outset, and he should be fine. I mean, obviously it's a question of whether the yellow actually goes past the pink. That's the first thing to ask.
One.
He's got a choice of 3 colours here. The green looks the most complicated to get from green to yellow. Not if the yellow does actually go.
4.
It does, Neil. No problem.
6.
Yes, when he had the 2 reds left, I thought he had the shot to pop the yellow and get the 2 reds into play. Anyway, that's history now.
9.
Anything but straight, and I think he has an angle.
And now just this
13.
elementary blue to leave Perry requiring a snooker.
Well, he's just absolutely making sure. Kind of natural shot is to play somewhere near the pink anyway. I'll
18.
be honest. If this goes 3-1 to Mark Allen, it's a little bit of an injustice. It's a closer match.
Mark Allen, 24.
Yes, he's
in the
won
frame.
one frame on the green, another on the blue, another on the black. Mark Allen striding ahead at 3-1.
Welcome back to the Champion of Champions tournament from Coventry. It's Joe Perry against Mark Allen. Perry took the opening frame but has lost the next three, leaving Allen just one away from the outright win. We now pick up the action in frame 5. Commentary from Neil Fold and Phil Yates.
Allen made the decision not to play much early season.
38.
Didn't go to the World Open in China, didn't play in the Riga Masters in Latvia either. Maybe he's reaping the benefit of that. Maybe a little sharper than some of the opposition, mentally.
I think he went off and played a bit of golf and enjoyed himself, as most people do when they do get spare time. Well, good split, but I don't think
45.
anything is available. The Reds have scattered well enough. I think now, if there isn't a pot, time to keep Joe Perry down and play a pretty telling safety shot. Somewhere underneath that baulk cushion is usually the place.
Well, he won the previous frame as a direct result of biding his time. Look at that. Mark Allen in total control of the match, and yet, in terms of balls potted, it's exactly equal, 67 each.
Mark Allen, 45.
I'm very surprised he played that. I'm very surprised. Didn't see any reason why he shouldn't just keep the pressure on. Instead, he's given a chance straight back, albeit not easy. There's not a lot of room to that red, actually. But I think there's enough to pot it. Maybe playing the plant. But even then, only time will tell whether that was one shot too many from Mark Allen that he went for.
At this level, when you've got a player down, you've got to keep him there.
Four.
He's done well there because he's been rattled the last few shots. And that was one he could easily have missed. But I don't think he can afford to miss anything else easy. Otherwise it's end of match.
Ten. Eleven.
Oh, that was a kick, that's all he needed. Well, he's stretching a bit on the next shot from there to the point where I think he needs the rest. Yep.
16.
Pressure starts to mount. Very nice.
17.
Wasn't it just because Perry must have known, had he missed that, it could have been good night or good afternoon.
23. $24. $30. $31.
Well, the red closest to the right-hand side cushion as we're looking at the table is the obvious
37.
obstacle.
Yeah, as a right-hander, though, he'd be able to get in
38.
behind it. But this will have to be played perfectly, or certainly, if he's not at this point, it'll be next time along. Well, I think he's playing low on the cue, so he's playing on that red. Well, goodness me. Well, his mind there was, I don't think, concentrated on the shot. I think he changed his mind because he looked to play the red down the cushion. He shaped up, changed to the other red, forgot the black. Well, that shows you hey, what a good player Mark Allen is and how much he fancies putting a ball down the cushion. Else is not much. Wow. Wow. Can you believe that?
Mark Allen 1.
That was just the last remaining piece of the jigsaw for me.
One.
Although the black is run safe, it doesn't really concern Perry. Yellow to pink for him will do the job.
6. $8.
Well, just when you thought it was about to go in favour of Joe Perry, he's hit one badly there. He's just got to play a slight recovery shot.
$11. $15. $20.
Joe Perry was very close to elimination. Now he's very close to Mark Allen, trailing by just a single frame.
Welcome back to the Champion of Champions match between Joe Perry and Mark Allen. It's been a tightly contested affair, Perry taking the opening frame, Allen the next 3, before Perry hit back in the 5th. He must win again to force the match into a deciding frame as we pick up the action in frame 6.
Yeah, I don't think he's played it with any confidence. The cue ball should never be that far down the table.
1.
It's actually come to rest just in the nick of time.
Hard to see a frame-winning break here. I think he's one of the better players at creating a chance and turning it into a frame winner. The black's completely tied up for now. Pink's not available either. He's doing something about that here. Well, that was a brave shot to play. He deserved, I think, better than that.
4.
Might be interested in the red just up the table. That red to the bottom of the 3, below the pink to the left of it. Chance of maybe a pop to the green pocket as well. None of these shots are easy, but they're possibles.
Well, he's pretty much dead straight on the possible red to the right-hand baulk pocket. And it's there.
5.
Well, he's bearing the fruit of the shot earlier on, where he tried to shift the black and the reds that were surrounding the black spot.
$12. $13.
The usual problem here, to avoid hitting a baulk colour on the way up or the way back down.
$18.
The shake of the head tells us plenty. How does he keep the break going? Well, that far red, you need to play it with...
Yeah, I'll get that off, yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Well, the problem is it's very tight as to whether that end red will go, but he needs the white clean because there's a hair on it. But of course, he's not looking to have it put back, and it's in a very slightly different place. Not that such a wonder referee as Paul Collier would ever do that, because he's going to get it back exactly, but this is very tight. He's got to use lots of left-hand side and straighten up what is too wide an angle. I think it's gettable, but his striking has got to be absolutely A1.
This, though, could so easily go astray. Well done, and the side he applied on the cue ball meant it was okay to hold for the black.
Yeah, that was the thing, Phil, wasn't it? It was the kind of shot which could get in the match. Still with work to do, but like you say, he was always going to hold.
$26. $27.
That's decent as well, because he can't hold for the black this time.
30. $31. $36. $37.
Treated that one with a lot of respect.
Yeah, I think he wanted to hold. Of course, it makes the pocket bigger playing it slowly as well.
Sure.
He leapt up in the air. I mean, it looked absolutely fine. Now, we'll check on the scores. More work to be done, but in good position to do it. He's now looking a slightly more difficult red of the two.
$45.
No applause, but at that pace, given these pockets, that was really good. And it's looking bleak now for Perry.
And the angle on the black takes him up towards the two reds that he's now inspecting below the pink.
$52. $53.
So 40 the difference once this blue is potted. Red colour, red is what he needs.
And after all of the fun we've had into this pocket in this match, you just knew he'd have this test. Well done. Lovely.
59.
Well, I thought he was going to play on the two reds previously, and he did look at them. It seems like it's not quite available. But he can drop in behind the other one. Might be a big pocket
66.
down the end or left middle. There is choices, but it's only the red that he wants, and should be enough to get him into tonight's group final. I think he's played the better of the two players.
67.
Stole a couple of frames mid-match, but he certainly finished the stronger. That's definitely how the match has gone.
Yes, and this is not just his most important break of the match, but also his highest.
$75.
And now the pressure's off. As always, it's like shelling peas.
82. 83.
There's something very pleasing about finishing with a century. He's not there yet because that last shot wasn't perfect, but it's something that the man who'd be playing tonight did earlier on in his 4-0 win against Lian Wenbo. Mark Selby finished with a century break.
Yes, and he's drawing ever closer to a milestone.
89.
Mark Allen made 293 centuries in pro competition so far. He will be especially delighted with this one, if indeed
91.
he reaches three figures.
94. $98. 103.
A well-deserved round of applause. Cometh the hour,
109.
cometh the man. A beautiful break.
116
Mark
from
Allen
Mark
beats
Allen.
Joe Perry by 4 frames to 2. Mark will win tonight, but will it be Allen or Selby?
Mark Allen wins a tight opening match in Group 2. Coming next, the match to decide who will win the group. Earlier on, Mark Selby won against Liang Wenbo.